So I'd like to introduce you to WhiteKnightz. Now this is a comment that came to me through my Ko-fi or Coffee, whatever you want to call it. This is a player that was brought up to me in that. So if you send me a message through the Coffee, I do look at all of them and I do review them and when I get the chance to get over them. And as always, I do appreciate any money sent to me on that, as always, because it helps me improve. Because the one thing I want to do next is actually update my computer. It's good stable right now. I fixed the memory issue with it. I do believe it's still a motherboard issue, but right now it's stable and I don't want to change anything. If you know anything about people that have PCs in general, once you get a system set up, you have it forever. This PC, the oldest component in it is actually, I think, my CPU, which is a 8700K, and I do have a 1070 Ti, so it's quite an old system, but it still runs the game great and still runs my other games great. I run Helldivers at 60 FPS or more on medium settings, and that's fine by me. I really don't care about high-end ultra gaming. I really never cared about that. I'm gonna let this run in the background. This is something that's very obvious. This guy was called out in chat by the other team for cheating. He's obviously very subtle. He doesn't want to take immediate shots, but he's staring at people directly through tree lines. No, it's not a EOQ situation, although I'm kind of glad that people are kind of realizing that a lot of this case is not a EOQ situation, and people are literally just staring at people through entire levels of trees, and there's no way they could see them at all. I also want to shout out this guy in my comments on one of my other videos. I think it was a CV90 video. He wants me to review his account because he's a cheater and he is selling cheats on his account, and basically he's a person selling cheats and he wants me to review his account. And I find it funny because he's bragging about his account and how good it is, and yet his first attempt at his cheat selling got an account banned within 15 battles. Now, if you know anything about War Thunder, your first, 5 or 10 matches are against bots, and he got banned within that limit of time. So he got banned probably within the first 5 matches in playing with real players, which is even more hilarious if you think about it. He wants me to review his new account, which is the literal same name. It's basically skill issue sir. There's no special thing. If you go look at the accounts, skill space issue space sir, call you out, bud. His new account is a level 6, and yet he hasn't played on even more than that. So he'll play a little bit like most of these guys do. They'll show off their cheats, and then they'll sell them without realizing the fact that he already got an account banned within about 2 seconds. Now, if you're using it to bait people, that would be hilarious. The problem is you're not very good at advertising if you do it the way you do it. You can't advertise your account, brag about it, and then realize that you had 2 accounts, one of which they got banned within, I don't know, an hour of playing. Which means that your program that you're selling clearly isn't very reliable. So maybe you should try something else. Because selling a lifetime version of something that gets you banned within an hour isn't really ideal. Yeah. So maybe you should rethink that whole process. Going forward, it's kind of funny because I get a couple of these guys that are like, oh, my account's not been banned yet. And I'm like, cool. You could give me your main account to prove to me that your main account is still not banned. But they won't do that because, they're cowards, as always. And I could care less if they call me out on certain things like this, because it's funny to me because these guys are just sad. You're willing to spend that much extra money on other websites, on Chinese accounts, and all this other nonsense to play an account because that gives you amusement, means you probably need a better hobby. I mean, get into drones, get into soldering, get into something else that's cool. Instead, you waste it on a video game because you think it's cool to waste money. I mean, I can't see it because, I have a life outside of these people. But, that's too hard to comprehend in a lot of cases. So, I mean, for me, it's, yeah, it's funny to me because they just constantly think that they're the center of all attention. And it's funny because they're like, well, you gave me exposure on your video, so clearly you care. I care because it makes me laugh at your expense, which just makes me laugh even more. So, You can call it out how you want. The problem is it doesn't really work that way, because unless you make one that's really worth it for me to review, good luck with that. Show me one that's better than a level 5 account that you haven't played on since you started commenting on my video. So once you start doing that, then I'll pay attention to you, because right now you get accounts banned within an hour of play, and that doesn't really work that way. So your skill issue, sir, isn't very good at being a skilled player, because you're not very good at cheating with it. Especially since, according to this, you cheat in arcade with it, which is even more sad, that you would need to cheat in a mode that marks every enemy around you where you wouldn't even need cheats. And it gives you a rangefinder. Nothing against people that like arcade, because arcade's still kind of fun. Arcade's like, oh, you like this tank that has, you know, 800 or 900 horsepower? Well, here it is with like 2,000 horsepower. It's fun to run around and be a little goober in those, because I do like the racings in arcade, and those are actually really fun. And I used to actually main arcade up until about 4 years ago. I used to play like only like low tier, like 4.0, 5.0 area. And, you know, abuse the absolute crap out of that. And that was fun, because that was fun to me. Now I play realistic because I enjoy realistic. And that's just how it's going to be. So, yeah, it was just, this is something that just amused me, and I thought I'd bring it up, because he's in my comments, and he refuses to read, he, like, doesn't want to read longer than, like, 2 sentences, which shows more of the maturity when I try to explain something to him. But yet, he can't really comprehend that there's a issue with his cheat program not working correctly. So I think you might want to spend a little bit more time learning instead of criticizing people, because I guarantee you paid attention. You probably, if you do watch this video, you're going to pay attention for about 12 seconds and then lose all focus, because you have no idea how this game works, and you have no idea how proper cheating works, clearly. But if you were baiting people into buying your cheats and then tricking them, then good on you. But in reality, I doubt it. Considering the maturity you are having in my comments, I highly, highly doubt it. So, yep, as always, I'm going to end it here, and I hope you enjoyed. As always, I hope you have a good rest of your morning, day, evening, or night, and have a good one.